The Maine Women's Summit on Economic Security was held on October 11th. It was a really phenomenal event. We had more than 270 people there over the course of the day. The real charge of the day was to think about all the different issues that impact women's economic security in Maine, but to think about them in a really inclusive way so that they're not just talking about childcare, you're not just talking about paid leave, you're not just talking about all the other issues that we think of in women's lives, but you're talking about how they connect to one another and how they're different for different women.
It reaffirmed a lot of what we do at the Maine Women's Lobby and at the Maine Women's Policy Center, which is partnering with others and realizing that we will get further when we work together. That we're stronger when we recognize the different ways different people are affected by issues and we find those partners to work with.
There were ideas that I was not familiar with. To have such an array of new information was really exciting. When I volunteer for the Maine Women's Lobby and the Maine Women's Policy Center, I feel like I am making a difference in women's lives. It's a small grassroots organization with a lot of passion.
It's frustrating that we are still dealing with attitudes that we would perhaps have thought had gone away. But it reminds me that that's why it's important that we have organizations working to further women's strength, their political rights, their economic well-being, and their leadership, so that more women are in positions of power and it becomes less possible for people to perpetuate that behavior.
And as we move into our 40th anniversary of the Maine Women's Lobby, we are working hard, or we will be working hard, to bring in young women. And it's time for women in their 20s and 30s and 40s to pick this up and move forward with it. And that's what we hope to achieve, partly through our next anniversary year.
Part of the reason why we do events like the Maine Women's Summit on Economic Security and get women involved in the election and give them other opportunities to engage, because it helps rejuvenate you and give you energy and passion so that you can keep fighting. And we have made progress over the years, even over the last several years with so many political challenges. We've still managed to make incremental progress on some things, and then also had really big wins, like getting a higher minimum wage for both Portland and the state. Figuring out how to use those wins to build our passion so that we can keep going is really important.
Change is possible. We do make progress even in very difficult political times.
The more we educate our voters and the families and the women and men of Maine, I think the more that hope can blossom.